Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Bootcamp Blueprint, the place where personal trainers go to grow their bootcamp and social media. I am super excited because we have a very special guest this week from the other side of the world. Now, this person has a background in fitness and personal training. She's been a qualified personal trainer. She's actually lost 75 pounds herself, and now she competes in Olympic weightlifting. Not only that, she's a high performance coach for entrepreneurs. She's a keynote speaker. She's a mean dancer. She's one of the most flexible people I know, and she's one half of the Cali Twin Stars. But more specifically, and what we're going to speak about today, she's the queen of LinkedIn. So let me introduce, without further ado, the one and only Ms. Rachael Takasaka. Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing well. I love that intro. Pretty much I felt like I was way cooler just from listening to that.
It's downhill from here, right?
Right. Like, Jono, you just like really took it to another level. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
No, honestly, I'm out of breath from reading that introduction, so I'm super excited. But yeah, what I'd like to talk about today, Rachel, is LinkedIn, because that's one social media platform. I've got to be honest, I'm guilty of not using it myself. And also I feel here in Australia anyway with personal trainers, it's down the list a bit. Everyone focuses Facebook and Instagram and they don't focus as much on LinkedIn. So I think there's an opportunity there. But just before we go into that, I like to start all my podcasts off with a quote or mantra that inspires you or fires you up. I got that of a good friend of mine. You might know him actually. So have you got a quote or mantra that inspires you or fires you up?
Awesome. Well, I have a lot of quotes and mantras. I actually have like this quote book that I write in every single day to work, like get my day started. So I'll just read you one from in here.
Are you going to read us today's one, Rachel?
Huh?
Are you going to read us today's one?
I will. I'll read you today's one. So today's one is called Embrace Change. And I wrote like a little drawing.
Cute. Awesome. Embrace change. I love that. Do you want to expand on that for our listeners? What does that mean to you?
I think that a lot of times we're afraid of change and like what's going to come in the future. And we're in this time and era where everything is at hyper speed. Like we're growing massively in all these different platforms. There's IGTV, and then there's face augmentation. Like there's so many things happening right now. And although it can get you miscombobulated from trying to master them all, if you just embrace the change and go with the flow and enjoy it and use it as like almost a sport, then you can really enjoy the whole entire process of growth through that. So that's really what embrace change means to me, is like just let it be, you know?
I love that. Now, let's get into you there, Rachel. So the queen of LinkedIn, can you tell my listeners that journey there? Where did that start? How did you start on LinkedIn? And then how did you go from starting to the queen of LinkedIn?
Yeah, I feel like I just kind of fell into the queen. Like the queen just gets crowned if she's the queen. Where like years ago when I first started marketing, of course there's Facebook, there's Instagram, and of course the next big one is LinkedIn. And I didn't exactly know how to use Facebook. I didn't exactly know how to use Instagram as well. Like of course I am a millennial, but like they just were foreign to me still. I was like used to MySpace. And then when that just goes, I'm like, what do I do? And I went on LinkedIn and I was like, okay, I want to try to figure out how to connect to more people. And so I just started connecting and building things up slowly but surely. And it really grew fast. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, this is like a super, super fast growing. Like people were giving me their numbers. I was just churning on LinkedIn more than any other platform. And I realized nobody else was doing this. And then all of a sudden I started helping people with that, where I was like, you know what? Like I get the best results with LinkedIn. And then I asked other people, you know, like, are you guys using it? Nobody else was using it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is something nobody else is doing. And so I kept on going, kept on pushing, and I started helping people with that during my process of learning it as well. And then ultimately, I've been doing that for quite a while now. And I was like, okay, maybe I should ask if anybody else wants this service, if anybody else wants this help. And I put that like little post out here and there, and it just kind of like hugely grew again. Everybody's like, wow, what is this? You're the LinkedIn queen. Like you did all these crazy things for me. Thank you. And so it just spiraled into like, oh, she's the LinkedIn queen. And just supernaturally, organically came to that point.
Love it. And hey, if you're listening to this, so that is what Rachael does. She helps people grow their LinkedIn. And I definitely recommend having a chat to her. Rachael, I'll put your social links and your website in the podcast description, and we'll talk about them later as well. But I recommend if you're listening to this podcast, you're interested in growing your LinkedIn, have a chat to Rachael there. Now, what I'd like to do, Rachael, I would like to do a little bit of from scratch. Right? Say someone has no idea on LinkedIn. We sort of build them up on what they do to get started. But just before we do that, if you could just rattle off, I guess, a few of the reasons why you like LinkedIn over some of the other social media platforms, or not even why you like it, but I guess some of the advantages. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, well, why should I? What are the differences? What have they got that the other platforms don't? Could you give us a quick 101 on that?
Yes, definitely. So I think it's actually probably the best way to grow your business and the fastest way to grow your business right now because of what the platform wants. And the platform wants from us influencers on it. So they've realized the fact that Facebook has a lot of influencers, Instagram has a lot of influencers. And if they don't want to die, they need us on there. And so they're promoting content like how you would have to pay for on Facebook and Instagram. So anything that you post on there, you will get quite a few more views, likes, more interest from your followers than you would on any other platform right now. Like the views, like I just got this text message from one of my clients and he's like, I can't believe it. I'm getting 5 times the amount of traction from my LinkedIn video than I did on Facebook and Instagram combined. And
Wow.
that's the amazing part about it is that they want us on there. Now, why I think you should be on here right now versus like a year from now is they're doing this so well. Who knows what conversation I'll be having with you in a year from now, where it will be at. If they've already got their influencers locked in and that platform's growing like crazy, then it's going to be a higher barrier to entry. So right now is the time for you to be on there and connecting. It allows you to connect to whoever you want to connect. Everybody wants to connect versus how Facebook, you want to connect more to friends. And if they know you're friends with some of their friends, then they'll connect with you. So it's a little bit more difficult to build that connection. And then on Instagram, it's like a very follower, like superficial type of, you want to keep your followers low and you want to keep your followers high and the people that you follow low. And so people have figured that out. But on LinkedIn, once you connect to somebody, they're your follower and you're their follower. So it's like very, very fair in that terms where you can grow organically. It's a benefit to both people. It promotes you to talk to each other every single day. It's always asking me if I want to endorse one of my connections, anything like that. It wants us to talk. So it's so organic and getting that conversation going. And people are about it on there. Like they're about growth. They're about getting healthy. They're about being like the best version of themselves. That's why they're on this platform. That's who it attracts.
Wow, there was so much bits of gold there. I'm just going to summarize that because Rachael's obviously an expert at this and you just rattled that off the tip of your tongue. But I'm going to summarize that for our listeners because I've got some really, really good takeaways from there. And just correct me if I'm wrong here, but ideally the advantages that I've heard there, number one is the reach, and especially because it's early. So let's talk about a Facebook business page, for example. I think I've got 10,000 followers on my Facebook business page. Unless I boost it or unless I pay for advertising, I'm going to make a post and like 7 people are going to like it. And one of it's my mum, right? But 10 years ago on a Facebook business page, or 5 years ago on a Facebook business page, a whole heap of people would see it, right? But now Facebook knows they're smart. They're only going to show it to people if they boost, so Facebook gets paid. Whereas with LinkedIn, we can post something and people will still see it organically. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
Awesome. And then let's stay on that Facebook thing there. Sometimes on Facebook, it can be a little bit creepy if you add someone that you don't know. You know, I always, if someone requests me on Facebook, you know, I'm pretty open on Facebook, right? But still I'm going to sort of have a check. And I know specifically with other people, right? I know if we're talking about people like, you know, my parents, or like I've got some friends where on Facebook, they're just not going to add anyone they don't know, right? Whereas on LinkedIn, people are a lot more opening to people because that's why they're on there to network. Is that right?
Oh, 100%. Everybody's really, really open to connecting. Like, I feel like you could add thousands of connections within a month.
Awesome. And then now if we compare it to Instagram, Instagram can be a little bit superficial, right? Half the people just follow you, and then they unfollow you as soon as you follow them back, right?
Sure.
LinkedIn, not that we're guilty of that, right? But, LinkedIn is a little bit more serious where you might go on Instagram to be like, all right, cool. What I want to do is just get all these followers so I look like an influencer. So, I can make money off being an influencer. Whereas on LinkedIn, it's a little bit more serious where it's like, hey, if I'm on LinkedIn, I'm going to connect with someone because I genuinely want to either grow my business, but in the health and fitness side of things, it works as well because most people that want to grow their business understand the power of health and fitness as well. So is that the case as well? It's more serious than saying Instagram?
I would say yes, and also the fact that there's none of the follow to unfollow stuff happening on LinkedIn, because once you connect with somebody, you become their follower and they become yours, and there's not a whole lot of unfollowing. It just wouldn't make sense to unfollow anybody because that would make you lose a connection yourself. So it's leveraging
smart.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, hey, I'm excited, Rachel. Let's do a deep dive. Let's just start from step one. Now, I've got an Instagram, a LinkedIn account, but I haven't used it in 5 years. The last post I made yesterday, I was like, well, I'm interviewing Rachel. I better quickly have a look at this app and see what it is. And I just made some post and I tagged you in it and you were the only one that liked it. So I definitely need help on it. But let's just start. I'm guessing, should we start at the profile? Is that the best place to start, how we optimize our profile? And I guess even with that, maybe we start with the profile photo, because what I'm learning now on social media, different photos work on different media. I used to have the one for everything, right? But now I've got one that I know works best for Facebook. I know one that works best for Instagram. I know one that works best for Tinder, and they're all slightly different. So if we're talking about LinkedIn, what should we do on that profile there?
Well, I'd like to see the Tinder profile picture.
Let's. Nah, I can't show you that. but even if we say on Instagram, I know it's popular for to post if you're a fit female. Maybe you post bikini shots and that sort of thing. Does that translate across with LinkedIn? I've got no idea really. If you can give us the breakdown.
Yeah. I think on LinkedIn, or I know on LinkedIn actually, it's probably a better idea to not be super risque. It's a business professional platform. So I have actually seen some influencers from Instagram posting something like they would on Instagram on LinkedIn, and they actually got a lot of hate. It didn't really get a lot of exposure, but they got a lot of hate of people saying like, how do we take you seriously if you're just dancing around in like a bikini? Like, you're not adding any value. So they're more like value forward. And so if you posted your profile picture and you were just like super risque, I would say it's probably going to be a turnoff, versus if you are more professional and you had something that screamed authority, professional in my field, you might be a lot more viewed, a lot more seen as an authority, and more seen as somebody that has probably better information even to that extent. Even if you're like the smartest guy in the world and you're just like showing a picture of you with like your shirt off, your pants hanging down, and be like, oh, I'm super fit. They're like, oh man, this is just like one of those guys that's probably always been fit his whole life. It's just turn off, on LinkedIn.
Okay, cool. So more professional. So if you're a guy, maybe you're looking at a suit sort of photo. If you're a woman, maybe you're looking at a professional outfit, that sort of thing there, as opposed to like, the bikini shots or the shirts off or even I guess the photo, sometimes on Facebook, the photos with kids and that, or with family or with friends.
Cute, yes.
Will that also work in LinkedIn, or is it best your profile pic is more just the profile pic here? Is that best just to be you?
I think it's best to be your headshot. There are places for you to put those family pictures in there depending on your brand, but this goes a little bit deeper into brands. So like, I know a lot of people that listen to this are fitness professionals. I would say wearing a suit and being suited and booted would confuse me, as like, I would be like, why are you wearing a suit? You're a fitness professional. Just think of like what a fitness professional would wear. Like, they wear the nicer shirts that are breathable. They have like, still have it a professional photo, but you don't need to wear a suit. You just need to wear like a very nice like top for a fitness professional trainer. Like, think about what the ideal image. I also think that you should be aware of the placement of like where you are. Like, if I was a fitness professional, a lot of times people want to see you outdoors, or they respond well to like outdoorsy feelings. So I would just be very aware of the context in which your profile picture depicts you. And you don't need a suit if you're a fitness professional. Just like have a very nice, like professional, crisp picture of you in a professional fitness outfit attire.
Love it. That's cleared
Yeah.
me up. I thought LinkedIn was all guys in suits, So now I'm like, all right, cool. If someone's listening to this, I guess my summary from that, if they're working in the gym, a big box gym, maybe they've got the polo shirt with the gym logo there and it's in the background. You can see the gym and that. Or if they're an outdoor boot camp instructor, maybe it's them in their work shirt, work polo shirt. And then in the background, you can see the park or might see some you can tell what they are. So I love that there. Now, also in the bio, along with the profile pic, there's also some other little things you can have, right? The intro, your background, your skills, your accomplishments. I looked at that and just got confused. Can you simplify that or even just give some tips? So if our audience is all personal trainers, bootcamp instructors, what sort of things should they have there? Any tips, any hacks, any suggestions?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So one of the big tips and hacks that would just expose you to more people is the headline section. So right below your name, you have this little headline section. And that's like your SEO to your profile. So whenever somebody searches up accountant, if you have accountant as that little headliner, they'll find you. So now apply that to fitness.
Wow.
What are people searching for when they're looking for a boot camp instructor, right? They might be looking for a coach, a personal trainer, weight loss. You want those SEO words in that headline to gain your exposure. So whenever they're searching for people in their area, you will pop up now and be part of that group that they want to talk to.
Awesome. Love it. So if you're a personal trainer, you type those things in: personal trainer, boot camp instructor, weight loss specialist. So if someone types that in LinkedIn, that's the SEO to get you found.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Awesome. Love it. What about any of those the skills, the accomplishments, any tips or suggestions, any of the endorsements as well? What do you know about that? What can you share there with us?
Yeah, so those are, I feel like those are like flair when it comes to your profile, where it's like not the hefty stuff, but it is important. Where endorsement wise, the nice thing about that is the more you endorse other people, the more they're prompted to either A, message you, or B, endorse you back. So you're opening a conversation and a window to talk to more potential clients. So anytime I see somebody that I'm like, oh, look at Jono, he's probably a great client for me, I'm going to endorse him. And then he's going to message me like, thank you so much. I'll be like, you're welcome. You need help.
She did that as well. That actually happened.
This is how this whole started. So,
awesome.
So that's one thing that you could do. It elaborates, opens up a door. It allows you to get inside to give your clients a compliment before they're your clients and endorse them in something. I would always recommend putting in your best things up there, like fitness, weight loss, all those good stuff. It's flair. It's like adding stuff to your profile. When it comes to the achievements and the certifications, you want to put all that information in. It just like it adds some body to your profile, and it adds some flair, and it shows that you're putting your efforts in, and you're not just like a guy trying. You're like a professional. You're in this for the long term, and this is somebody I could trust because they've got a bunch of stuff up there.
Love it. Wow. I can't wait just to get in and change my whole LinkedIn profile now. I'm going to use, so I love that. I love all of those. I'm going to go in, I'm going to change obviously my profile pic. I'm going to optimize my headline for SEO. I'm going to use that endorsement strategy. I'm just going to jump on my LinkedIn and endorse maybe, I don't know the numbers, but if I go in there and just endorse 5-10 people a day, it's not going to hurt, right? The worst thing, I can do that in 5 minutes, I'm sure. And if that gets me a few endorsements back, a few message backs, not going to hurt. So I love that. And I also like the idea of just making it look professional, because that's obviously what LinkedIn is there. And I feel like that'll be in my power if I do endorse someone, they come over and have a look at me. Oh, okay, this guy's actually put a bit of effort in. I think that's powerful. So I love those tips there. So now we've got our profile set up. That's good. But that's just the start, right? There's got to be things we do to, grow our LinkedIn and that sort of thing. So I guess the first question is, what do we post? Like and if we use the other platforms, I guess with Instagram, a lot of that is about photos, right? Instagram, you post nice photos. You might put some motivational quotes over there. Facebook, a lot of it is, I guess, family and friends and statuses and live videos. Facebook Lives work really well. LinkedIn, I wouldn't have a clue. Does any of that stuff work, or do you do other things? What sort of things do you post on LinkedIn, or should you
Yeah,
post?
I'd say try it all. Like right now, I'd see everything working really well because anything you post, they're going to boost themselves, even if it's bad. Like I know I posted something recently and it got like 2,000 views, but it only got a couple likes, and that's my bad because it didn't resonate with who I was talking to. And I was like, okay, it's a great place to test out. And even though I'm the queen, I still make those things where I put stuff out and it gets crickets still, and that's okay. It's just what I want you to do is try. Like, just post some videos, see what gets the most likes. They're really promoting videos. Articles are very, very important, and I recommend anybody to do an article on there. On the side, Jonah, if you want me to show you sometime, I can show you how to throw in a funnel in your articles as well. Yeah, it's
Yes.
so cool. Yeah, and they don't even ding you. Even if how on Facebook they'll ding you if you put something in there, like a link out. You're like, oh, what a rookie. Why would you do that? But then on LinkedIn, it's all good. You can put that stuff in and they'll still promote it. It'll see the same amount of people that it would even if it didn't. So it's a great platform to just test out a lot of stuff. And then don't be butthurt when like something falls flat. Just realize that was what didn't resonate and try the next thing. Like if people just want to see videos of you working out, just post those videos, even if you're more into another field. Like for me, I post a lot of workout videos because it does really well and it ties into like my brand, but I don't give out like specifically fitness programs, but it's still what my brand can put out to attract people, So I think that's like the biggest thing is like understand what your audience wants to see versus what you want to give them, and just test out a bunch of things, articles, videos, pictures, the whole shebang. Throw up on LinkedIn and see what works.
Love it. I think that's good social media advice in general, right? Like my specialty is Facebook. That's where I spend a lot of my time. But even I've got a group. The Facebook group is probably my strongest point. I've got a Facebook group, 10,000 people. I'll make a post and it'll get a couple hundred likes, and everyone's super interactive. But even still,
I saw that.
I'll do a post there and sometimes get like 5 likes, right?
Yeah.
You can't
like, what
just,
did I do?
yeah, I delete that post straight away, obviously. But still, like you can never really know, right? But I learned from that. Okay, well that post didn't work and this post did work. Why is that the case, right? And then even similar with Facebook and Instagram. Or even, let's go even back a step still. It's very different what I post on my personal profile on Facebook to what I post in my community Facebook group. The community Facebook group is just mainly workout videos, whereas my personal profile is more like motivation, mindset, Tony Robbins quotes, that sort of stuff there. And then Instagram's still a little bit different. So I guess the takeaway from here is, hey, you're going to start using LinkedIn. It's not just a matter of, okay, this is what I posted on Facebook. Let me post the exact same thing on LinkedIn. Hey, maybe it does work and it can be the same, or maybe there may need to be some changes. I did have one question though, Rachel. Articles. Is that articles as in an article you've written yourself and then posted on there? Or is that from your blog, or is that a LinkedIn function? Can you tell us about that? What do you mean by articles?
No, I knew you'd love that one. I was like, the second I said this,
That's
I
why
know
you saw my eyes.
you're like,
Right?
oh, hold on, honey.
That's why you threw it in. You're like, I want to hook the bait on
I
this
do.
guy.
I like throw some bait out. I'll reel it you in, honey. Yes, articles are things that you post yourself, you make yourself. It's a function on LinkedIn that you should all be using, every single one of you. If you don't throw out an article, you're doing yourself a disservice because it shows up on your profile. It also adds that body to your profile. It's always going to be there. So anytime anybody goes to your profile, they will see the articles that you've written, and it gives you that authority figure as well. Like, this person's serious. Like, wow, they've written articles. They've written 28 articles. What have they got going on? And so it allows you to put a blog basically on there. And even in your articles, you can actually, secret sauce right here, you can put in links. So just
Wow.
like with email marketing, you can like highlight, click here, and then throw in a link to wherever you want them to go. And then all of a sudden it's like magic sauce is coming out of LinkedIn.
That's awesome. And I'll expand on that for our listeners, because if they're not aware, so let's use Facebook as an example, right?
Yeah.
Say if you post something on Facebook and you link to something else, right? Say a YouTube link, for example. If you want to show if you're on Facebook, you want to show someone a YouTube link. If you post that YouTube link on Facebook, Facebook's not going to show it to anyone, right? Because they don't want you leaving Facebook, right? They want you staying on Facebook. Whereas on LinkedIn, it seems like you can do this article and you can throw that link in there to your funnel or to your webpage or whatever it may be, and they'll still show it. So I love that there. So, all right, let's move down the line still. So we've got the profile pic. We've got what to post. Oh, and by the way, anyone listening to this, another easy strategy. This is the only LinkedIn strategy I know. Tell me if this works on LinkedIn, Rachel. I think the best strategy to do on LinkedIn is actually just follow Rachael there and then see what she does. So if you want to find her on LinkedIn, it's just Rachael Takasaka. I'll put that link in there on LinkedIn. But that is a good way to learn, right? Just see what the experts are doing and learn from them. But anyway, we've got our profile. We know what to post. My next question, Rachael, is how do we grow? Like we've got, on Instagram, it's easy to grow, right? You can just search a hashtag and follow other people, or you can just, go to your explore function and see who's there. And then on Facebook, you meet people out, you sort of add them to there, you see with mutual friends. How do you grow your LinkedIn? I think of it myself like, okay, cool. Now I've got my profile. Now I know what to post. Well, how do anything I can do to speed up that growth? What would you recommend?
Definitely. So you could either do the random, just click, connect to every single person. It's what I did in the beginning that gained me a lot of exposure. And I actually went in and like put in the hand and footwork into like really making those people fans instead of just pressing connect. I always recommend that. Like if you're going to connect to somebody, make sure it's like authentic as well. So I connected with just literally everybody I could, and then trying to make a personal touch to that, and not salesy, not pitchy, just make a connection. And then if you're more interested and you do know who your target demographic is to some extent, you can use the filters in which you can search people of specific area. Like I know some of the people that you are talking to have boot camps that are run in specific areas. So you can just search for people in those locations, and say a lot of the people that are in your boot camp are also in like corporate or something like that. You can also search for like a CEO or something like that, and then you'll find all the CEOs in your area and you connect with all of those specifically only. So there's a lot of little sneaky tricks to it, but I'd say just building up your connections and making sure that you're consistently just connecting with as many people as you can and trying to push that personal connection with them as well. You're going to be doing very, very well, very, very fast.
Love that. I've got some good takeaways there. I do have a question with that as well, though. In terms of just, connecting with everyone, does it come up as like suggested connections or friends of friends? You see other people's posts, and I'm guessing that's how you can connect with other people, right? It comes up and just connect, or your friend of this has posted, you see that, you connect. So that's cool. Now, filters. So you can target via the geographical area. So you can do that. You can just type in LinkedIn, search anyone that lives in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, and you'll get everyone that lives in that area.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so powerful. So I think my take there, if you're listening to this and watching a boot camp, just do that every day. Say, all right, cool. I'm going to spend 5 minutes a day. I'm just going to search Sydney, or, if you're more specific, I'm going to search Cogra in the Sydney area. And then I'm just going to connect with 5-10 people there. I'm going to send them a personal message. Hey, what's up? I'm the local personal trainer in the area. I'm just trying to build my client. I'm just trying to get my name out there with other local people. I wanted to connect. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Right? And then if they reply, great. If they don't, who cares? Like just 5 minutes a day of that every single day is going to grow your audience there, especially if it's people that are looking to connect. Because really, you could somewhat do that on Instagram, right? You could go on Instagram and see who's checked in at the local area and then follow them. But it's not going to be the same, because just because someone's checked in at Cogra, New South Wales, Doesn't necessarily mean they want me to hit them up and ask them about how they're doing in business and life, right? But on LinkedIn, they're going to be more likely to be accepted for that sort of thing. And then I'm guessing also, the CEO, also local businesses in general, right? Let's say I'm running a local business and, there's a coffee shop down the road, or there's a local physiotherapist I want to liaise with, or a local nutritionist. I'm able to probably find them on LinkedIn, and then that's going to look good on their behalf, right? If I connect with them and then Jono, the personal trainer, endorses this nutritionist or endorses this healthy cafe, that's going to look good on them. So they're probably going to do the return. So, well, really, really like that. So I love that there. Now let's go the next step further. All right. Now we've already dropped some little hints along the way, so we can recap these as well. But let's say now, we've got our profile. That's all pimped out. We know what to post on there. We know what's working. We know how to grow. We're connecting with people. How do we then turn that person from a connection into a paying client? Any strategy or into a lead? Either way, you can give us either your strategies there. We've dropped the little hint with the having the link in the article. So we can either expand on that, or if you've got any other strategies, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that getting a good idea. So like for people, I like to really get to know their brand a little bit more before I'm like, this is really where you should go, within like how to strategize, how you're going to talk to these people and interact with them, especially if it's like a boot camp versus like somebody who's offering like watches, right? Like, so super, super different for every single brand when it comes down to like the strategy you want to use. Like you said, there's many different ways to. It's just about like how your business would do best according to what you're selling. And so like you said, there could be articles, it could be just branding, it could be reaching out to people. But I would say that like the best way to do it is like figure out the brand idea, what specially would work for your brand first, and then really hit it hard with that.
Love it. Love it. And I guess to expand on that, say with my brand, I've got a few different options. Say with Fitness Education Online, I do a lot of email marketing. I do a lot of sales calls. I also do a lot of posting in the Facebook group. So an example for me might be if I just connected with someone who I saw was a trainer, I could just simply send them a message. Hey, asking about their training or whatever. But then from there, the next step forward might be, hey, by the way, I've actually got a Facebook group. I've got over 9,000 trainers in there. We all share tips and ideas. Would you like to join? And then I can funnel them in that way, right? That would be one example there. Or if someone doesn't have that sort of Facebook group, maybe they're just a salesperson, right? Maybe they're running a boot camp. So, hey, I've got a local boot camp. Look, did you want to get, or maybe it's a free trial. Hey, I give everyone a 7-day free trial. Did you want to come down, right? Or it could be a phone number, many different ways, right? Or if we go via that article, it might just be a link to the email list. So there's many different ways, right?
True. I would also say though, on LinkedIn, you have to be very, very careful with your offers. You will find out if you go on LinkedIn how many pitches you get a day, and it's almost overwhelming. So you have to be very, very smart about the offers that you give people to make sure that it's going to land, because there's so many offers coming at them every single day. So you have to be very, very careful with your offer as well. So it cannot be super pitchy. It can't be like, here's my message, come into my group. It would be awesome. It'd be like, let's build a relationship. I want to know more about you as a trainer. That's really cool. Is there any way that like, like have that conversation, like build that up, and then be like, here's the offer. You'll probably get a much higher ROI on that versus just like pitching that in the first or second message.
Love that. That's an awesome tip, because I was just going to go on pitch straight away. I'm so excited to jump on LinkedIn.
Go over there. Thank you.
So thank you for bringing. So thank you for bringing that up. So okay, cool. Yeah. So it's not one of those platforms where on Instagram you can almost get at it straight away. Facebook almost straight away. LinkedIn, you don't want to be those people that just bombard you. So work on that relationship.
God. Please don't. I swear. And I hope that that's like, if anything you get from this, do not be that sleazy person on LinkedIn that's just pitching constantly, because then I know you really didn't listen to what we had to say, because it's like they get so many pitches so often, and it's really, really exhausting to read those. So don't be those guys.
Awesome. Love that tip. Yeah. Well, hey, Rachel, we're coming to the end of the podcast here. I've got a few questions I love to always finish my podcast off with. Now, you're obviously a mentor for a lot of people out there who want to grow their LinkedIn. So I recommend everyone listening to this, go and follow Rachel. So the options, I'm just going to read out your social now. So on Facebook, you're Rachael Takasaka, which is Takesaka.
Mm-hmm.
And then your website is Creation Move.
Mm-hmm.
And your Instagram is creation_movement.
Yes.
Awesome. So if you want to, and LinkedIn, obviously Rachael Takasaka as well. So I recommend following Rachael Takasaka or creation_movement. Now, mentor wise, who do you go to, Rachel? If you've got, who are the mentors that you go to that teach you sales or marketing or that sort of stuff? And then also any book recommendations or podcasts that you listen to, if you could share with our audience.
I love this. And I think you know who I'm going to talk about first because I love him so much. It's AJ Mirzad. And he was probably like the most influential coach I've had. He's helped me grow my business. He's like my family. I love him to death. And he's like all about helping you grow your business as well. Like he's just phenomenal at what he does. And so I have to give him a huge shout out, and the online super coaches shout out. Celeste is also, she's like the other Cali twin star. She's part of the family too. And so she'll probably say something similar, but that's definitely like a big one that I like to. And of course, you know, I mean, there's this really cool guy named Jonah that I like to listen to every once in a while, you know, and I love listening to you, man. You're super, super inspiring. I'm pretty sure I like saw more of your story than you know from the background, but man, like your growth and how much you help, and like you could tell how much you care about people. And so I really appreciate you in this market as well, and your podcast and how much you connect with everybody.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And yeah, we'll just, we'll spend a few minutes on AJ as well, because I'm a big fan of, sharing how I got in the position I'm in as well. And AJ's been a mentor of mine over the years. He's actually one of the first people that got me motivated to get into the online entrepreneur space. I started listening to his podcast. I was running a boot camp at the time. I was 100% face-to-face. And, something in my mind, I was like, you know what, I want to start to master this online stuff. I see the world's going online. Where can I go to learn about social media or, online stuff? And I think I was like, I'll start with podcasts, right? I typed in like online training or something, and AJ's was like the only podcast. And I was like, who's this American guy? I'll listen to him. There's nothing else out there. And, I just learned so much just from listening to his podcast. And that got me the kick to get started in the online entrepreneur space. And then from there, after a year or two, I started working with AJ. I did one of his online programs. And that was almost like a dream come true, right? Because I was like, man, I've been listening to this guy's podcast for like a year or two. Now I'm working with him. I'm so excited. And then followed those strategies. And then a couple years later, which was earlier this year actually, hired him to be my mentor for the first time ever, because I've never had a mentor before, right? And I was like, you know what? The only person I am ever going to hire and pay for a mentor is someone who has sort of done exactly what I've done, but better, and is further along than me. And I was like, AJ is the only person. So if you're listening to this, I definitely recommend following AJ, AJ Mirzad, online super coach. Books wise, any books? Are you a reader there? Are you, Rachel? Or
I do like to read. I definitely do like to read quite a bit as well. There's a lot of books that I like. A lot of them are around like copywriting as well, or the power of now. So like personal development. I know there's one, it's like Kick-Ass Copywriting Secrets from like a rebel copywriter or something. I forget what the full name is, but that was probably my favorite copywriting book. Like personal development, like the power of now is just super, super awesome too. So those are some of my favorites. It's just all about like building your business, learning how to talk to people, learning how to write better, perfecting your skill, or perfecting your inner self, and like what you need to work on yourself.
Such powerful things, especially if you're listening to this as a boot camp instructor. It's not always about how can I get my bench press better, or it's not even about what's the latest little tactic to do on my Facebook Live. Some of those goes a bit deeper, right? If you've got that personal development side and you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's a lot easier. and just human communication, right? If you can communicate that
Yeah.
message better, whether it's via writing or whether it's via talking, like you can be the best at the world at what you do. But if you can't communicate that to someone else in a style that they resonate with, you're going to be broke, right? So I think they're
Yeah.
important skills. But hey, Rachel, I've loved talking to you. I can't wait just to go in now and pimp up my LinkedIn. So keep an eye on that. But I've actually got another podcast on in 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to leave you to
Woo!
it. Just before I do, Rachel, is there anything I should have asked but didn't, or anything I forgot to ask there?
I feel like we covered the really, really strong fundamentals of what we should have covered. And other than that, I think we're all good. And if people really understood and sunk in what we talked about right now, they would do very well on LinkedIn.
Awesome. And I strongly recommend, if this resonates with you, go and follow Rachel and go and have a chat to her. I believe there's a form on your website. They can have a chat to you if they need help with their LinkedIn or the other services you offer, or even are people able just to DM you on social?
Yeah, definitely. I'm super happy to talk to anybody. Like, I try to be the most approachable person possible. If you just want to chit chat, say hi, super happy to do so. I love connecting. Like, that's what I'm about. Like, just connect and love and cherish each other and the time we have here.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much for your time, Rachel.
Appreciate it.